Considering that I make videos on YouTube about wrestling, and there are other people who do the same thing, I'm assuming that we're fans of wrestling, correct? The YWC YouTube wrestling community, we're all fans. Yep. Yeah? Now what can a fan do when it comes to being a fan of professional wrestling? Well, actually it's not that hard. Just like something. Like something in wrestling. Like a wrestler. Like a story. Like a match. Like a promotion. Like something. Everyone does it. Trust me, I've seen enough YouTube wrestling videos to know that everyone likes something. And when we like someone or something or some place in wrestling, not only do we like it, we also tend to support it. I mean, we watch it. We buy stuff from it. We pay money. And then with supporting comes promoting. We all, as fans, we like to talk about, what we like. And when we say what we like, quite often we have the intention of letting other people know that, oh, I like this, maybe you'll like this. Have you seen it? Then give it a try, because I liked it. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it has something for you. Hey, I heard this from you. Maybe this has what you're looking for. No two tastes are ever alike between wrestling fans. To say that it's exactly alike between any two wrestling fans is a stretch, to say the least. I mean, everyone likes a little bit different something. You got Spitternet saying he likes characters and stories, and those kind of, personalities in wrestling, and that's why he got drawn to ECW. And I don't blame him. When I've looked back at ECW, and they had a hell of a cast of characters, and Paul Heyman did a great job putting the right people together in the right moment, the right story, and really controlled it well to where everything was able to shine, and also the emotion that they were able to put into it got everyone involved, and I'm sure that's what happened with Spinnernet. And then you got a guy like Sanders Robin, who he says all the time, how SummerSlam 2002 was probably his favorite pay-per-view, and that's a great, a lot of great wrestling. A lot of people say that's got a lot of great wrestling on it. I would agree. So he likes, the Kurt Angles and the Chris Benoits, and he likes that type of, work rate in his when he sees wrestling. He likes to see wrestling in his wrestling, which I don't think anyone should blame people for liking wrestling in wrestling. So if he likes that kind of stuff, it's no surprise that he likes a company like Ring of Honor. A lot of great wrestling, but with enough story to hold it together. And plenty of ROH fans will fault ROH for not having enough story or enough outside elements to how matches are booked. And hey, sometimes people are just sort of drawn to production values, I guess. Apparently people like pyro. In my opinion, why wouldn't you just go to a fireworks show or go watch a movie, go watch Transformers? I don't know. But hey, some people are into that. People like that with their wrestling. All of these things are parts and have been parts of the professional wrestling business for years and years and years. The production, the stories, the booking, and the freaking wrestling. So anyone can have an opinion and like one over the other and have different opinions on each part. Okay. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. An opinion is an opinion. It is not fact. It's true to one person. That's it. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what people recognize. That's what a lot of people use in bullshit arguments. Oh, it's my opinion. Oh, it's my opinion. And then someone else states their opinion, and then they'll shoot them down. But that's another topic for another day. Actually, no, that pretty much is all the topic. Just pointing that out there. Anyway, so everyone has an opinion. Everyone likes certain things, everyone doesn't like certain things. People have, like I said, people have different tastes. And people like different things as fans. See, everything's coming full circle. Here on the YWC, we're all expressing opinions. That's probably why we're making these videos. If we didn't have an opinion, it'd be kind of weird why we were making videos. Well, there's like tribute vids and junk, but that doesn't count. But, people just want to say what they want to say. And people, I'm pretty sure a lot of people on YouTube want feedback. I mean, this whole deal with ROHBots versus haters was started because, people want feedback. And by people, I mean Truthslayer. Yay! But really, what I think everyone should want to see in the YWC is active thinking. And how do you do active thinking? You trade opinions. You put out different points and see how people respond to them. What use is it listening to your opinion and your opinion alone? When you hear other people's opinions, you either agree with them, don't agree with them, accept it, don't accept it. But hey, every once in a while, they bring up something, you look into it, you think about it, and hell, it might even change your mind. Surprise! But hey, that's what everyone wants. That's what Truthslayer wants from this. I'm sure Spinner won't mind seeing, all this exchange and talk about, of points on ROH and see, who agrees with him, who doesn't agree with him, and why on either end. I could go on and on, going through the pros and cons of different types of wrestling, what different promotions offer. But I think everyone else has caught up on that pretty well. However, one thing, not two, one thing that has been bugging me in all these video responses: perception. A lot, and I mean a lot of people that I have responded to with comments that, I've noticed in video responses to this and in videos in the past, people are just misreading things so much, especially concerning the ROH fans or ROHBots. Some people just over-exaggerate things in their own mind a little too much. Yes, people are fans of things, and people promote things. But then there's the issue of shoving things down people's throats. Why? Why is it? I don't think anyone has yet to explain, the difference between promoting something, talking about something, hyping something. Because people get excited for things. Everyone gets excited for things. And, people want, other people to know that they're excited about something. And maybe, if they're excited, maybe someone else is excited. Like I said, we're fans, we have opinions, and we have taste, and we're a community, and other assorted words. But I rarely think that anyone is really trying to shove anything down people's throats. I mean, especially nowadays. I think the YWC is in a good place where people are having pretty reasonable opinions, and in pretty reasonable ways. I mean, yes, there are people who talk about what they like and people that talk about what they hate, but once again, it's their opinion, and I think they have the right to talk about it, especially here in a YouTube wrestling community, if that's what it is. And really just, people just, I think there are people who, there are people who are not ROH haters. I agree. But I think there are ROH haters and people who aren't ROH haters who just misread the fans too much. I mean, yes, I sometimes see inklings of people going a little overboard with promoting or hyping. And yes, every once in a great while, I think people, whether purposefully or not, they question people's intelligence just because, they aren't considering or watching a promotion or style of wrestling. These misjudgments have led me to even include a category that I'll get onto later on. But that's for later. I mean, people just misjudge all the time. And well, not all the time, but there are definitely a few occasions where people misjudge, what people think and what people are. A Instant Classic 8 video I watched where he was talking about, how he was excited for Final Battle 2010. And in his opinion, he was excited and thought it would be a great show. And then some guy had to comment and be like, oh, another guy shoving ROH down people's throats. And honestly, I think it takes a lot for it to be shoving down people's throats. It seems like any time you talk about something, someone who doesn't like it, that's another freaking issue, is, they're just like, oh, they're shoving down people's throats. That's a real misjudgment of what's going on. A real misperception. And just some other ridiculous crap. And even worse is when that misperception, or even if it's an accurate perception, say, of the ROH fans or the fans of a certain company. What's worse is that people have even said that the fans turn them off to a wrestling product. I'm sorry, but no. I just don't see any reason how that is a good excuse for you to not bother watching anything. Because, oh, the fans are annoying. Oh, these robots, or these TNA marks, or these WWE sheep. How can I don't understand how the fans can knock you out, can put you off so much. If you don't like their opinions, don't listen to them and form your own opinion on what's happening. I mean, Jesus, just do that. Have your opinion. Don't let other people's opinions get to you so much and you're like, oh, I don't want to give this a try. They're so over the top and strict, and oh, they're so obsessive and they're ridiculous. No. You form your own opinion. You don't let other people's opinion, turn you off to something. I mean, it's not great that there are people who are forceful and obsessive, but I think people who let it turn them off, who allow it to, get to them and have them, not even check something out, something like ROH out. I mean, I blame that. I blame the person who's, letting it happen. I blame the person who's just like, oh, I don't want to check it out, their fans are so ridiculous. What? Oh yeah, and 90% of the time, that's them misjudging fans of any given promotion. In all this exchange of opinion and whatnot, I can't help but think, dear God, there's still some stupid crap going on. I mean, really. You have people, you have the misperceptions of fans, and then people just mocking it. I mean, really? Say, Wrestling Jesus. You make fun of ROH fans. You do an exaggerated impersonation of them, which is funny. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I'm sure somewhere in the world there's an ROH fan like that. But don't be surprised when people call you out on that. I mean, I'm sure if I did an impersonation of you and made it seem like a stereotypical Attitude Era fan and be like, oh, why, it's Mark Henry, is he going to get a blowjob from a transvestite, or an old lady, or a sister? I'm pretty sure you would call me out on it somehow. Actually, ideas for future vids. Then there's the whole deal of how things just turn into freaking insults. I mean, I see in all these comments, people who, whether I know the person, know who they are, have seen any of their videos, know their opinion, like their opinion, don't like their opinion. There have been people who've been putting some pretty respectable things in comments and video responses, and they get fought back with insults. And these people who are throwing around the insults are the same people who say, "Oh, you can't counter my point." I'm sorry, are you doing a legitimate counter-argument, or are you just throwing out things for the sake of throwing out things? I'm waiting. I'm right here. There are people who are throwing out opinion and saying people can't counteract it because it's fact. And then there's people counteracting it and them saying, "Oh, it's my opinion." Which do you believe? Which method do you go by? What the fuck is your code of ethics, or whatever the hell you want to call it? What the fuck is your modus operandum? What the fuck are you thinking? Junk like that has been an issue not only in these recent video responses to TruthSlayer and SpinnerNet, but for years. I mean, dating back to times, to videos I see that were on before I was even aware of the fucking YWC. I mean, it's crap like that that's just ridiculous. People just bullshitting each other left and right. And it's come to a point where people just don't like each other, which I think is, in a lot of cases, just ridiculous. There are people who have issues with people. But then it's like, okay, what are the issues? And then sometimes it just comes down to insults. Sometimes it just comes down to name-calling. And it's horseshit. Thus the title. I mean, come on. This is me not trying, and I'm sure I'm going to get, flamed to hell, "Oh, he's getting so pissed." Whatever. In all honesty, I think this whole issue has been handled better than I thought it would. Hell, even the usual suspects of, have been somewhat fairly understandable and respectable in some ways. Not totally, but some ways. So, all this has been handled better than I thought, and I knew I had to talk about it at some point. So, here is my big, grand video with actual editing. DoubleCrossKing, stay classy, everybody.